Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We're going to continue on today with our Bootstrap Basics build here. Yesterday we built this accordion section. So what I'm going to do today is I want to add a pre-footer, like a section just above our footer here. It's going to have some quick links and perhaps our address and maybe a Google map for locations. We'll split this into 3 videos, one for each section. And then we'll use this on all the pages above the footer as well, so we can copy it over. So let's get started. If you've been watching, skip ahead. I'm just going to explain what we're doing here. Here's our root folder. The root folder simply means where we started with an empty folder. We created our index.html, which is the home page, and the other pages about, features, price and services. We're working on the features page right now. We created a custom style sheet or a CSS file to dictate how our site actually looks, and we got a folder with some images that we've been using in our site. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our features page. I guess we'll continue working on this one today. I'm going to open it up with my brackets text editor. If you don't have a text editor, then any text editor will do, but you can get this one, brackets. It's absolutely free. You can download it from a link below the video here. Let's go down to the bottom where we left off. Here's the footer. Here's the last section we built. I want to build it just before the footer here. Like I say, if you don't have a text editor, download brackets from a link below. If you do, any text editor will do. So if you've got a favorite, feel free to use that. Okay, well, let's start building. I'm going to create a new section. We've done this many times. Again, if you've been following along, you might want to skip ahead till we actually build. But I'm going to build a section with a row with 3 columns in it. So we're going to build a section. I'm going to give it the ID so we can target it. I guess we'll call it P for pre, a footer. So it's going to be kind of pre-footer if you like. Don't even know if that's a term, but that's what I'm calling it. Okay, and inside our section here, we're going to want to have a container because we want our little 3 sections there to be contained. We don't want it to go full width. So a row, div with a class, container. And as before, we created a CSS class called gap100, which will give, if we put this class into any section or div, it'll give it a gap top and bottom of 70 pixels and left and right of 0 pixels. So I'm going to use that, the same one we've been using. Have a look at earlier videos if you're not quite sure why I've put that in there. Okay, and inside our container we want another div, which is going to be our rows, and we're going to have 3 of them in there. So div class equal row. Okay, now then, inside our row, just keep this tidy, I'm going to want to have 3 columns. So as we've mentioned before, Bootstrap's made up of 12 equal spaces. Whether it's full width or boxed, it's still 12 equal spaces. So if you want to make 3 columns out of that 12, you've got to divide 12 by 3, which will give you the number 4. If you wanted 2 columns, you divide it by 2, which would give you 6. So we're going to have a div, and it's going to have a class of column. We'll say medium 4, so we should be able to fit 3 of them within the row, because 3 4s are 12. Well, there's a video dedicated to columns down below. Do take a look at it. If you're not sure what's going on here, it'll explain it a lot better. There's a link to it, like I say, below this video. Okay, so there's our first one. copy that and I'll make 3 of them. Second one, there's the third one. Let's get rid of that little gap there. Okay, and these things, because my peak footer, I want to have that as perhaps that dark blue background. We won't use the gradient this time, we'll just use a straight dark blue. So any text that's on it, I want to be light in color so it shows through. I'm just thinking ahead now. So I'll give it the class of text light. That'll turn any text that we put in these columns a light color, so it'll stand out against our blue background when we put it on there. These columns right here, they're gonna have, first one's gonna have quick links, which we'll build today. Second one perhaps will have an address, and third one will have a Google map. I might switch those two around, but we're just going to concentrate on this one today. So our columns mid 4, I'm going to give them just a bit of consistent padding. So I'm going to say P for padding, and let's say 3. It goes from 1 to 5, 1 being the smallest amount of space, 5 being the largest. So experiment to see what it gives you. Just going to give it a bit of padding, a bit of gap between the outside of the container and where the content actually starts. I'll do these for all of these so it remains consistent. So I just copied Control C and I'm pasting it in our other columns there. Okay, inside our little divs here, we're going to have our text. I'm going to give it another class. I'll call it P for pre, F for footer, and T for text, PFT. That way, if I need to in a minute, I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to, I can target either these divs or anything that's within them by using the PFT and whatever it is I'm targeting, probably text. And inside here, we're going to want some links. If this is the quick links section, we're going to want some links. So let's start with a link, which is an A tag, href. And where do we want it to go? Well, that's where we put the actual hyperlink itself. So for instance, if this was our home page, I'd do index.html. I think I'm going to start with the about page. So I'm going to put about.html in there. So when they click on this link, it'll take them to our about page, which is about.html there. Close that link. And what do I want in it? Well, I want some text. I just want a bit of paragraph text that says whatever it is the link is, about us, I guess. So let's put that inside there. Paragraph text. I'm just going to give it a simple P tag. I'm just write about, because I'm going to give it some CSS classes. I'm going to style it as probably capitalized. So we'll say about us. That's fine. So that's our first little link done there. Let's just close that gap up there. I'm going to copy this. While I'm thinking about it, I think rather than stack these on top of each other, I'm going to give them their own divs. That way we can give them space above and below, and I might want to put a bottom border perhaps on the div so it stands out. So let's just give it its own div, and we'll give it the class of, I guess really this is the pre-footer text. So this is just the pre-footer column right there. So I'm going to call that, I'm just going to leave that one as PF. And we'll call this one PFT because it really is the text for the footer. PFT. And you see that's all red there. It's because we haven't got a closing tag on our div up here. So our container column is now called PF, class of PF. And our text, when I wrap it, is going to be called PFT, pre-footer text. So let's cut that closing div off and wrap our little anchor tag in it. So Control X to cut. And it wants to go down here underneath it, so we're wrapping that anchor tag or bit of text in there, and we'll pop that across. So how many do we want? I'm gonna copy this. So there's our first one, which will be about pricing, services, features, contact. Okay, so let's do that. We said pricing. Services. Features. And say contact us, I guess. That's fine. I think that's all I really want in that section there. So there's our HTML built for our first little section. It's not going to look like anything at the moment. We can have a look at it if you want. But I really need to go to my custom CSS now, put the color behind here, and decorate anything that's going on here. So let's save that, Control S. Let's go to our page and we'll take a look at it. Like I say, it's not going to look like much at the moment. If I refresh, roll down, there it is. Well, we got our tags, our links that we created, and our pre-footer sections there, but it's just a white background. I need to change that to a blue background. Then we'll start decorating this the way we want it. So let's go to our custom CSS and change our background color to this one. So it's an ID and it's called the pre-footer. So let's go to our custom CSS. We'll start down at the bottom again. Great, we're already there. Let's give it a title. We'll call it pre-footer. / ****. Now, as you know, anything written between the stars will not be read as code. And these titles just make it a little easier to find various sections if you do this. So it was an ID, so it's hashtag, and it was called p footer. And what do we want? We want the background color to be that blue color we've been using. So we'll say background. And colon, and where is it? I want a colon, not a semicolon. And where is that blue color? It's, I think it was like 18 something, wasn't it? Let's take it up here. There it is, 181174. That's it. So we'll just copy that, pop it in there. There we go. Save that. Now when we look at our site, we should have that section should have a nice blue background with a padding of 70 pixels top and bottom. If I saved it, looks like I did. Fantastic. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm using Chrome here. Let's use our inspector to style these the way we want. Well, I want them to be white. I want them to be capitalized. And this PFT, see, I want a border on the bottom of 1 pixel's white, so say 1 pixel solid, and we want to make it white, which is FFF. I might want to spell it right. Border, B-O-R-D-E-R. It will not work. There we go. Border bottom. That's fine, but we're going to want to have some space on top. So let's have a look. See, just want to say a padding on top, say 15 or 20 pixels. You're going to be able to see unless we hover over it. I think I want a bit more than that because I want it to be equal with the bottom. Let's see if I hover over that. I should have done the pricing one below it. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's make that 20. Let's have a look now. I think that's going to work. That looks like that about us is right in the middle there. That's fine. Okay, and we'll target the P separately, but for the actual PFT that we've got there, that is right. So we want to target with PFT class with these here. So I'm going to left click, drag, Control C to copy back to my custom CSS. And it was PFT, wasn't it? The class dot PFT. And we'll just want to open and close some curlies, and we'll just paste in that bit of code we copied from our Chrome inspector there. Like I say, that's Google Chrome I'm using. It has that great inbuilt inspector tool. Save that. Go back to the site. Now when we refresh, it should actually stay the same. Well, we should see some more lines here, and it should spread out a little bit. But that one that's there should remain. That's it. Okay, not sure what I've got going on there. Looks like I've got another line going on there. Okay, so I want to change these now, the actual links themselves, so that'll be PFTA, and I want the color to be white, FFF, and I want it to be uppercase, so let's text transform. We'll say uppercase. It's fine. See, it's made that capitals now. That's great. So let's just copy that, and this is going to be PFT class A. So copy this. Control C, back to our style sheet. And it was PFT, and then we were targeting the anchor, PFT. We were targeting the link, which is an anchor tag. Open and close some curly brackets. Paste in what we just copied. Just tidy that up a bit. Control S. Make sure I got a closing curly. I do. Control S. Refresh. And all our links should be capitalized and white now. Perfect. That's exactly what I need. Okay, and I probably just put a PF class on this. Let's just inspect that, see why that line's there. Yeah, I've put a PFT class on that column of 4 there, and this next one right here, so we can get rid of that. That should be just PF, I believe. So we're good there. Let's go and just get rid of that line, and it's features, and there it is. We changed our actual column to PF, and we changed our div that's within there to PFT. So I just need to change it to PF, because the PFTs has got that underline on it at the moment. Save that. Control S. While we're here, let's add a title. So if we go back to the site and refresh that, those lines should be gone now. And I guess we'll put a title up here. I guess we want it in the middle that says something. So let's put a title in here centrally. We'll go back to our HTML. Okay, so I'm going to want to put it above our text in our row, in our column right here. So let's just drop down in the actual column just below the column heading right there, and I think I'll just use an H3, and we'll give it a class because I want it to be text centered. Everything else is defaulting left or right, so we want to go text center, so put it in the middle. And I also, RH3 by default's blue. If I give it the class of H3W, that's a class that we created to turn it white. So we want it to be light color on that blue background, and it's going to say quick links. Simple as that. Let's save that and see what we got, and that should pretty much be that little first section for us. Control S to save. There it is. That's absolutely fine. That's just what I wanted. So we've got our first little section there with our quick links to our various pages. We'll leave it there today, and tomorrow we'll put in our address here and a Google map here. Not sure which we'll do first. Might put that Google map in the middle to make it look more aesthetically pleasing. So there we are. Anyway, we've created this section. I hope you've enjoyed that. The CSS you can download below. I'll put it below. So there's how to create a quick link section in your pre-footer. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web development, take a look down below. We've got some great free web development courses down there, as well as some premium courses with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers. So do check it out. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.